Stop calling the chaos that you see on the streets by the left. And actually, guys, I'm not just talking about the American left. I'm talking about China. I'm talking about the Communist Party. I'm talking about the communists within. I'm talking about the donors. Remember what I told you before. The people that are on the streets in these riots that are throwing rocks and all this kind of stuff, setting cars on fire, destroying property. Those are a bunch of useful idiots. The real problem, the real issue, the elites, the politicians, and the donors. And that's what we're going to get into. What you're witnessing are not anti-ICE riots. Although that sounds catchy, that's great for a chyron on the news or on your television screen. That's great for media. That's great for a newspaper. But the truth is there's a much bigger battle going on. This is a anti-America riots that are rising up across the country. And we're talking about it on the Carl Jackson Show. All right. This is your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you go to get your podcast, Apple, Google, Spotify, YouTube. There's no YouTube, okay? So that doesn't exist yet. But YouTube and Rumble, The Carl Jackson Show, is where you can go to find me. Also, please like, rate, review. That would certainly help us out in those spaces. We would certainly appreciate that. And please follow us all things social media at Carl Jackson Show or at The Carl Jackson Show, X, Instagram, and Facebook primarily. Maybe coming to a TikTok near you. I'm debating it. I can't stand communists. But I've been debating that maybe with a separate device or something. I don't know. We'll talk about it. I thought America was going to buy it. So I was waiting to see what happens with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's get into the issue of I want you to understand that what we're witnessing in these streets, they're not anti-ICE riots. Yes. The useful idiots are against ICE. The people that have a heart, listen, and I get it. There's a lot of people out there that are just like, listen, these people are our neighbors. They live next door. They live next door to us. And I completely get that. But I'm sorry. You've got to have laws. If the reason why people come to the United States of America, the reason why they're willing to risk their lives. Remember all of the people that were coming into the United States under Joe Biden when they thought that would be their last chance or their best hope. They were coming in by the tens of thousands a month. The numbers were absolutely insane. Sometimes over 200,000 illegals that would come in monthly. Plus, it was absolutely crazy. Why would they do that? Why would they be willing to risk their lives to do it? It's because this is the greatest country that God has ever given man. But some people don't like that. Some people don't like that. Oh man, there has been a state of emergency in Israel. State of emergency in Israel. So we'll get to that momentarily, guys, because I think a lot of this stuff is connected more than people would like to realize. Russia, Ukraine, China, Iran, North Korea, and you got to consider the Mexican cartels. You got to consider the Mexican cartels. I'm going to circle back. And I'm going to explain why these are anti-America protests. They're not just anti-ICE protests. You have to understand that people are literally trying to take the United States down, and they're using useful idiots that are willing to travel from big city to big city. You notice these riots aren't happening in red states and red cities. Now they are coming to a city near us, even in Florida, from what I understand. They're not going to get out of control in Florida. I guarantee you that. If they do, it's going to end quick, fast, and in a hurry. As a matter of fact, I do want to play some video for you momentarily because we've got some sheriffs that are on it already, and they absolutely are not playing. Let's play clip number 39, Gabe. Let me know when you have it. But I want you to understand what's going to happen when you come to the state of Florida and you try to attack our officers or not abide by the rule of law. It's not going to happen here. And this is what needs to happen. But I want you to understand, as you watch this video, I'm so glad that I live in the state of Florida. I'm sure Gabe is as well. But there's a reason why you're not hearing this type of message in blue states. But I want you to hear this. This is cut number 39. This is I believe this is the Broward County Sheriff, if I'm not mistaken, in Florida. Let's roll it, por favor, Gabe.
So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order. Not here.
What did we talk about the other day? Useful idiots. You got donors, you got politicians. I'll get to politicians momentarily because we all know that what Gavin Newsom is trying to do, despite the fact that he's destroyed the state of California, is run for president of the United States. But guys, you have to understand that there's a bigger issue happening. And we got to talk about Iran too, because when we talk about Iran, we got to talk about the 12th Imam. You guys may not be familiar with that. And frankly, this is why I knew that there will be no negotiations with Iran. And I appreciate President Trump's heart because he wants to get a deal. He wants stability in the region. He wants economic success for not just the United States, but our partners, those even in the region where he went. And I thought it was a fabulous trip to the Middle East. I don't know if everything is going to work out there. Obviously, there's issues with the Syrian leader, so on, et cetera. But I thought it was a great idea. I thought that was the most successful Middle Eastern trip that I'd seen in my life, or certainly covering politics. Is absolutely amazing. But something that a lot of I don't even know what term to use, but it'll be people on my side. Guys, I don't want to send anybody to war. But here's what I understand. There's some people out there that want to kill us, and they're not in the United States. And I don't want to get involved in some long entangling war. But frankly, we have allies that can kill people that want to kill us. Those allies are Israel. You're not going to curtail Iran. I'll get into that momentarily. I don't want to go too off course here. Let me talk to you about this article that I saw in the Epic Times earlier. FBI investigating the money trail behind the Los Angeles riots. Now, there's several groups out that we talked about earlier in the week that are helping to fund these riots. These riots aren't organic. Now, there are some people that are out there peacefully protesting. They may come out during the day. Some of them may even come out later in the evening or at night. But what you have is a bunch of rioters that are being paid that have co-opted these protests. That's what you have. A bunch of rioters that have co-opted these protests, and they're being bought and paid for. So here's the summary from the Epic Times. The FBI is now investigating what is fueling the riots against the immigration enforcement in L.A., this, according to Kash Patel, the FBI director. He says, quote, the FBI is investigating any and all monetary connections responsible for these riots, close quote. Patel said that in response to the rising concerns about possible Chinese influence behind the chaos. What? Wait. You're talking about people that are supposedly anti-ICE or anti-ICE protesters. You mean to tell me that China is helping to fund some of this nonsense that you're seeing occur in the streets of Los Angeles and different cities, all blue cities run by Democrats where it's popping up? You mean to tell me that China is involved? Yes, you have to understand that people want to take us down. This isn't about ICE. This is about America. And we have real enemies. Those enemies, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and dare I say the Mexican cartels. Why the Mexican cartels? I don't even think they would have been a major issue, except that China was using them to bring fentanyl to traffic fentanyl into the United States of America. And we had a dementia patient in the White House that was allowing them to do it, killing 100,000 Americans every year. Guys, this is freaking war. It isn't what you're seeing on the street. It's just a fraction of what's really happening. They are intending to cause chaos inside of the streets of the United States of America. And they want you to be distracted by those riots because they want you to miss the big picture, that there's people that literally want to take America down. There's nations that want to take America down. And damn it, if we're not united, they're going to do it. It isn't anti-ICE. Those aren't anti-ICE riots. Those are anti-America riots. Get it through your thick skull. I'll talk to you about Iran. I'll talk to you about the people that are funding this stuff. It is evil. It is sick. It is twisted. They're associated with the Democrat Party too, so don't vote Democrat. This is the Carl Jackson Show. We'll be back momentarily. Don't forget, find me on social media. All right, guys, let me talk to you about My Pillow. As you know, our friend Mike Lindell has a passion to help everyone get the best sleep of your life. He didn't stop by simply creating the best pillow. Mike created the best bed sheets ever. They look and feel great, which means an even better night's sleep for me, which is crucial for my busy schedule. Mike is offering the best deal on his Giza Dream bed sheets, any size and any color, just $49.98. That's right. You can get even get kings or queens, split kings and cow kings, any size, any color, just $49.98. Order now because when they're gone, they are gone. Also, for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you will receive $100 in free digital gifts. Call 1-800-858-0263. Use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. I don't spell it like the communists. Go to mypillow.com. Make sure you use the promo code Carl, C-A-R-L, for the amazing offer of $49.98 on the Giza Dream Sheets, any size and any color. That number again is 1-800-858-0263. Promo code Carl, C-A-R-L. All right, it is on like Donkey Kong. Israel strikes Iran. Defense minister declares state of emergency. You have Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying the U.S. is not involved. So this is going down now, literally. As we record this podcast, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared a state of emergency after launching a strike on Iran. This, according to several reports, two sources with knowledge of the operation told Axios that Israel had carried out a strike on Iran. Per the outlet, it's not clear whether Israel has ordered strikes on Iran's nuclear program. Guys, it's got to end. And I'll get to this momentarily, but this is why I say that this is all tied together. ABC News reported that Katz had declared, quote, a special state of emergency in the country following what he called a preemptive strike against Iran, close quote. Now, the lefties are going to absolutely hate this. The rioters are going to get even crazier in the streets. But guys, remember the quote unquote protests and the riots that you were seeing on college campuses. All of this stuff is connected. They've all got the same donors. They've all got the same mission. They want to take down the United States of America. They want to take down the big dog, if you will. When it comes to the Islamists, they want to see the return of the 12th Imam. I will get to that momentarily. And that's why I was saying earlier, guys, we cannot take Iran for their word. This is why I don't like anybody that doesn't have a spiritual bent involved in foreign policy. Oh, Carl, there you go. As a Christian, we can't get involved in every war. I don't want to get involved in every war. But here's what I understand about Iran. I understand that Iran believes that we are at least the mullahs of Iran, not the people. The people are great people, but the mullahs and the Ayatollah of Iran. Here's what I understand. They believe that Israel is the little Satan. They believe that America is the big Satan, and they believe that they've got to take us out. That is a religious, spiritual battle. Whether you're an atheist, whether you're an agnostic, it does not matter. That's what they believe. And that's the fight that we're going to fight. Whether we like it or not, it's going to happen. Sorry to break it to you. Let's take you back to the anti-America riots. Not anti-ICE. Not anti-ICE. Anti-America riots. Guys, I told you last week, I believe we're already in a World War III. I don't think it's going to be fought the conventional way, except for last resort. But again, you got Kash Patel finding the money trail, looking for the money trail. Here's what the Party for the Socialism and Liberation, they had to say. That's one group backing the unrest. We talked about them or spoke about them earlier this week. There was another group, Churla. I forget what the acronym stands for. But these are groups that are also just right inside of Los Angeles, stirring up trouble, a bunch of socialist, communist groups out there. But one group backing the unrest is the Party for Socialism and Liberation. This is a communist political party linked to networks funded by pro-Beijing tech tycoon Neville Roy Singham. This is the person that you heard Representative Anna Paulina Luna, if you caught my podcast earlier this week, speaking about. All right, and here's what the Party for Socialism and Liberation has been posting on X. They've been describing the arrest of illegal immigrants as a, quote, war being waged on immigrant communities, close quote, while accusing immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, of kidnapping our neighbors, friends, and families. And so, see, the goal is what the communists are trying to do and what they're paying these anti-America rioters to do. They want to get you all stirred up. They want to get you all emotional. Yeah, we can't let our neighbors be arrested. Meanwhile, what all ICE is trying to do is remove the dangerous element out of your neighborhood, the most vile criminals that happen to be illegals as well. Now, if there's somebody that they're chilling with at the time, living with, whatever, then yeah, they may get caught up in it. Listen, but the goal is to get them out and then to get the people that came in under the Biden administration. That's the goal. That's the goal. The Party for Socialism and Liberation, listen to this. They're closely allied with the Party for Socialism and Liberation is the People's Forum. All right. That's a Singham funded. Again, this guy's name is Neville Roy Singham. Neville Roy Singham. Again, this is the man that Representative Anna Paulina was speaking about. So you got this, and hat tip to the Epic Times for this. So you got this group that closely allied with the Party for Socialism and Liberation, the People's Forum, a Singham funded organization based in New York City, Manhattan, that has advocated for the ruling Chinese regime's causes. Manolo de los Santos, he's a co-executive director of the People's Forum. Again, that's the other group, socialist group, responsible for some of the anti-America riots that are happening across the country. He's also a New York City resident. He's praised China's COVID-19 pandemic policies. Do you remember what China's COVID-19 pandemic policies? That's what Fauci tried to copy and emulate here. They were straight up lockdowns, except they were locking people in their homes, closing the doors, putting locks on them so people couldn't get out. It was insane. The group has hosted events in Manhattan that have helped the ascent of the Chinese Communist Party. That's who we're dealing with. Guys, these aren't, you think it's grassroots. All of a sudden, all of these riots popping up everywhere. Who's paying for this stuff? Who's bringing them bricks? Who's bringing them masks? They're bringing out an army. I heard an influencer, a TikTok influencer today, say that he got commissioned or asked by the people that are putting on the, what is it, Kings, No Kings, or whatever, this nonsense that's going to be happening this Saturday, 30 plus cities across the nation that are going to be standing against the anti or anti-ICE or the immigration enforcement. No, they're anti-American based or anti-America. And so he said he got a message from them. They were going to pay him $200 a day just to run his mouth and stir up controversies. They wanted him to go to a particular spot and gave him a location and all this kind of stuff. But he was like, he just didn't feel right about it. He didn't feel like it was patriotic. Wish I could tell you who it was. I heard it elsewhere on another radio show. And I forgot the kid's name. But this is happening. This is coordinated. Don't be duped into this stuff. This is coordinated. Stay your butt home. Oh, man. All right. 2 organizations have been cross-posting on X in solidarity with the rioters. Both have been calling for more protests in their respective locales. Again, that's the Party for Socialism and Liberation. That's also the People's Forum. The guy, Manolo de los Santos, that praised China's COVID-19 pandemic policies. It says here the group has hosted events in Manhattan, again, that have held the ascent of the Communist Party of China as a, quote, decades-long epic battle that transformed not only China, but also the world. That's what they want to do here. They want government control, total government control, total government submission. You know, Trump ended an EV mandate, and I think that was a good idea because you can't tell people what to drive. Cars are about freedom, and that's what the left wants to take away from you as well. So good job, Trump, with that. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. You got Gavin Newsom, politician that's leaning into the unrest. He's looking to capitalize. He wants to be the useful idiot. He's been the useful idiot politician for California. He wants to be the useful idiot for the United States of America. But I want to go further into where this money has been going. The People's Forum, again, the other group that's responsible for the anti-America riots across the nation, in an X post on June 10th, asked people to gather in Manhattan's Folly Square, 5 p.m. to, quote, demand ICE get out of their communities, close quote. And there was a poster that attached that listed the Party for Socialism and Liberation, as well as Code Pink. Code Pink is involved in this as well. That's the anti-war activist group that Singham's wife, ironically, Jody Evans, co-founded as event endorsers. Man, isn't that weird? Code Pink is involved, and Singham's wife, Jody Evans, happens to be the co-founder. So Evans began a campaign called China is Not Our Enemy. These people are bought and paid for by the Chinese Communist Party, and they're starting these anti-America riots. We're trying to get along with China, and this is why we have to decouple from China. Guys, I'm telling you, China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, they are serious enemies. And guys, I got to tell you, this is why it's so important. I think when it came to the tariffs, what I liked about the tariffs, and I'm not a fan of tariffs. I think Trump had to get NATO in check. I think Trump had to get Mexico and Canada in check, because if these people turn on us, we're doomed. We're done. Finished. Finito. He had to get them to pay attention to the fact that they were being destroyed. So Evans began a campaign called China is Not Our Enemy through Code Pink in 2020. She's also a contributor to the China Academy, a content platform that partners with Chinese state media and other Chinese state-linked entities to protect Beijing's narratives. One member of her group disrupted a February 2023 hearing of the House Select Committee on the CCP, waving a banner bearing the slogan, again, China is not our enemy. In July 2023, Singham attended a Chinese propaganda forum in Shanghai that aimed to promote the regime's international image. He was seated next to Speaker Zhu Zenan, who taught at the School of Marxism at China state-affiliated Fudan University, and took notes in a red cover notebook. Guys, we're already at war. These anti-America riots have got to stop. All right, welcome back to the program. This is the Carl Jackson Show, your daily dose of objective truth in a world of confusion and lies. It appears that war is breaking out in the Middle East, at least between Iran and Israel, and this is something that needs to occur. I'll talk to you about the 12th Imam briefly, but again, I want to reiterate that what you're witnessing happen across the United States of America are anti-America riots. They aren't anti-ICE. They're much bigger than that. Again, that's, I mean, obviously, we've got to get the illegals out of here, the criminal illegal element. And that's what the donors, that's what the politicians want you to be focused on. And that is crucial. That is important, because getting out illegal alien criminals are going to make your neighborhood safer. All right. So we should all want that. But the media, the useful idiots inside of the media, the CNN, the MSNBCs, the CBSs, the ABCs, wherever Terry Moran was, these type of media outlets are doing nothing but running cover for the communists, whether they realize it or not. That's exactly what they're doing. The fake Jake Tappers of the world. That's exactly what they're doing. Just more evidence that that this stuff is staged. Let's go to video clip number 40. If we could get that. This is a bunch of TikTok influencers, basically under the doing exactly what China, the Chinese Communist Party, wants them to do. Cut number 40, por favor, Gabe. Okay. These people are being paid for this. They're useful idiots. They're useful idiots. This is, I mean, we're really living in scary times. And then you've got politicians again, like Gavin Newsom, who I hope he's ended his presidential bid, but I'm not sure that he has. I mean, remember what he was saying about ICE. He said this was chaotic, this was reckless, blaming Trump. He said that they were just trying to have an arbitrary deportation quota. Was there an arbitrary invasion quota, Gavin Newsom, when we had 12, 15, 20 million illegals come in during the Biden administration, and we know that he wasn't even there mentally? These people get on my nerve. Again, 12 million people came into the country, at least illegally. It's insane. Nationalizing the Guard isn't new. President Donald Trump is not the first one to do it. You had George JFK said to George Wallace when he nationalized the Alabama National Guard, said, would you please let us, he didn't ask the question, would you please let us nationalize the Guard? He wanted those schools to be, to no longer be segregated. He wanted African-American people to be able to, I hate saying that, black students to be able to rightfully go into school. And he did just that. He nationalized the Guard. This stuff has happened before in history. So Trump is an authoritarian. And frankly, I think people like it. There are some people that are concerned, like, all right, who are you rounding up, Trump? The criminals. The criminals. First and foremost, the criminals. All right. And frankly, anybody that's new, any of the new people that came in, this is who Trump has to round up. And guys, again, I'm telling you, this stuff it goes far beyond what we're seeing at these protests. Again, you have Israel. The news that is breaking that has now struck Iran, and Israel has declared a state of emergency after launching a strike on Iran. So this is big news. There's video footage out there. We don't have that for you right now, but Breitbart News had reported that Trump expressed that he did not want Israel to launch an attack on Iran if there was a way to strike a deal with Iran regarding its nuclear program. Guys, there isn't a way to strike a deal with Iran simply because these people are absolutely, I'm talking about the mullahs of Iran. There is in their minds, this is spiritual. This is something that they have to do. This is the group of people. Remember who Iran is. Think about who Iran is. These people are, you've got a bunch of terrorist organizations that fight proxy wars on their behalf, that they fund. Hamas, I mean, ISIS, right? Hezbollah, the Houthis. These are all funded by Iran, out to do their dirty bidding. What is the 12th Imam in Islamic eschatology? All right, so I'm just going to read from you. This is from gotquestions.org. I'm sorry, I had some notes on this before. I don't know where I put them, but the 12th Imam is not a Christian biblical idea, but rather a concept in Shia Islam. So remember, you've got the Shia and the Sunnis, and Iran, the Iranian mullahs are Shia, that are tied to Muslim beliefs about the end times. Shia Islam is the second largest denomination of Muslims. It gives greater weight to the title Imam than does Sunni Islam. Most Shia believe there have only been 12 true Imams, all right, the last of which has been hiding unseen on earth since the 9th century. According to this belief, the last Imam, that is the 12th Imam, will one day return along with Jesus Christ to defeat Satan and an antichrist-like figure. That's what they believe. But they believe that they have to bring on the 12th Imam. And how do they do it? By destroying the little Satan and the big Satan. Most Shia subscribe to an approach called, I can't even pronounce this, often referred to English as Twelvers. These Shia believe in only 12 men who can be called an Imam. All were born between the 7th and 9th centuries. The last, according to most Shia, was the 12th Imam. This is a guy by the name of Muhammad bin al-Hassan, also named Abu al-Qasim Muhammad, more commonly referred to as Muhammad al-Mahdi or simply the Mahdi. I'm sure you've heard of that before. Mahdi is a title meaning guided one. He is anticipated as the perfect Muslim who will reappear and unite the world under Islam. According to Shia beliefs, Muhammad bin al-Hassan was born near the end of the 9th century and was no longer seen after the middle of the 10th century. I would suspect he died, but you know where this is going, I'm sure. This disappearance was supposedly not the result of death, but of a divine cloaking known as occultation. The doctrine of occultation, contrasts with the belief of Sunni Muslims and a small proportion of Shia Muslims who believe Al-Mahdi has not yet been born, or at least that he has not yet publicly appeared on the world stage. Shia belief in the role of the 12th Imam is at least partially responsible for Iran's approach to international politics. It's not partially responsible. It's responsible for their belief. This is what they believe. They've got to bring about the 12th Imam. That means killing you. That means destroying the nation of Israel. Guys, pray for the nation of Israel. Pray for the United States of America, because we're absolutely going to need it. These are not anti-ICE protests or anti-ICE riots that you're seeing, though they are. Again, these are anti-America protests. And you've got Iran that wants to take us down. Frankly, even Russia, when it comes to the Russia-Ukraine war, who do you think Russia is siding with? Russia has made a decision. Regardless of what you feel about the Ukraine war, I don't want to see that Ukraine. I want it to come to an end. I believe that is the best thing. I believe that's what's best. I want the war to come to an end. It's as simple as that. And whatever you feel about Zelensky, I don't feel like Russia, I don't feel like Zelensky or Putin are the greatest people, frankly. And I believe Putin is evil as all get out. I believe that Ukraine is actually, I know they were more susceptible and more friendly when it came to Western ideals. That isn't the case with Putin. Well, there's the Russian Orthodox guys. Stop believing that nonsense. Communists don't like Christians. Stop believing people who tell you that nonsense. Communists do not like Christians. Putin doesn't like Christians. It's the craziest thing. I see conservatives buy into this nonsense all the time because you want to buy into your own political views. It's okay to be wrong. There's evil people out there. And frankly, Israel's got to do what they got to do. They cannot let Iran get a nuclear weapon. This is what Trump said. This was earlier today. I want to have an agreement with Iran. We're fairly close to an agreement. We are fairly close to a pretty good agreement. It's got to be better than pretty good. I'd much prefer an agreement as long as I think there is an agreement. I don't want them going in. So at some point, Trump must have felt like there isn't an agreement. And this is something, man. This is big news. This is big news. This is definitely startling. But again, you've got useful idiots. You've got politicians, some of which, like Gavin Newsom, I think are useful idiots, but are so desperate for power. And you've got donors, and all of them, along with these anti-America riots, are hoping to bring America down. Now you've got Iran. They cannot get a nuclear weapon because these are the fools that will actually use it. All right. So Russia uses it as a deterrence. The United States, we use our nuclear weapons. God forbid we ever have to use them as a deterrence. Many other nations that have them, they're used as a deterrence. These people in Iran, the mullahs of Iran, would use it to bring about the 12th Imam. And so they must be stopped because they will use it. Guys, pray for our nation. Pray for our allies. This is the Carl Jackson Show.